Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome back. It is exactly 14 after 9 o'clock. This is News and Views on Salam Media. We also welcome to the show this morning our listeners and viewers in Polokwane on One Nation FM. Still to come up on the show today, we're going to be talking with Christine Julius, and we're going to be talking about remembering the late Noor Ebrahim, co-founder of District 6, the District 6 Museum. He passed away on Friday. Also, Huzaifa Navlaki from the Grand Butcher Shop in Robertsham is going to talk to us about having stopped stocking Coca-Cola in solidarity with Palestine. But first up, we are going to be talking about a wonderful initiative by the Mayfair Muslim Youth Organization. It happened yesterday. Let's find out all about it. And this is with Ebrahim Mahomed, co-organiser of the Palestine Solidarity Fun Day. Assalamu alaikum to you, Ebrahim. Welcome to the program.
Walaikum salam. Jazakallah for having me.
Jazakallah for being here on the show with us, and Jazakallah for putting together an amazing fundraiser. Tell us, how did this come about? Why did you think that something like this would be meaningful for the community? And then also, I'm sure you were very pleased that you had a huge turnout.
Gee, definitely. So it all came about because in our area, the Mayfair area, there hasn't been any really like a fundraiser for Palestine. So we got together with our Somalian brothers, and they said like the Somalian community has never had even a market day or a fun day before. So
Wow,
obviously it's
wow,
the
that's
perfect.
awesome. That's absolutely
So
awesome. Alhamdulillah.
so it was the perfect time to actually, raise funds and also give the kids of the Somalian community, a fun day just to go out, play on jumping castles, get their faces painted and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's how it came about. It took about 5 days of planning. We started
Mm-hmm.
last week, Monday. And yeah, it has been a great success. Shukr, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, Ibrahim. What I like, what you're saying is it was actually a dual purpose, and I'm sure that uh, the objective was met because, firstly, you've decided to do something for the Palestinian people, have a fundraiser, but you also thought it's a wonderful time to get the Somalian community from Mayfair involved as well, so that they can truly start feeling a part of the Ummah here, the Muslim Ummah in South Africa, in Johannesburg. And I'm sure they must have truly embraced it wholeheartedly.
They definitely did. And the one thing that stood out late yesterday afternoon was so we were planning to, finish up and start clearing up by 3 or 4 p.m. But at like 6 p.m., the park was still full. The kids were still
Wow.
on the jumping castles, which really showed that, they really needed something like this just to let loose and just have fun. Like, leave alone the fundraising, just, play with their family, their friends, and not have any worries about uh, anything else.
Your main objective obviously was to raise the awareness of the Palestinian people's plight and to raise much needed funds. Was that objective met?
We reviewed yesterday's events, and we do believe it was met. So we also had a fun walk yesterday to raise awareness. We went through like past McDonald's, Macro on Main Reef Road, and to our surprise, like most of the vehicles parked there were rooting in solidarity with us. And the one thing that stood out was JMPD that came to assist for the walk. instead of them driving with the work, most of the officers were working with the people that joined the work. So we do feel that, we did create awareness, not as much as we'd like, but we did create awareness.
Listen, every small step and every small effort collectively makes a huge difference regarding this issue. And I'm also very pleased to, I'm really heartened to hear that the different nationalities of Muslims are now coming together for a common purpose. The funds that were raised, which organization are you going to hand it over to make a meaningful contribution to Palestine?
So the funds that were raised are going to go to two different organizations. One is Gift of the Givers for the on-site assistance, and the other one is Islamic Relief, which is for the AIDS and either helping with Palestine, or even if there's another area that needs assistance, for example, Syria or any other country that needs assistance, it's all for the same cause.
Because yesterday's fundraiser was so very successful, and you've also realized that these type of events is highly needed, very especially in the Somalian community. Are you planning to have these fundraisers on a more regular basis?
We are definitely going to have more events. It may not be a market day or a fun day. It might be like a convoy just to create awareness again, and we will be accepting donations. So yeah, it won't always be like a fete or market day, but there will definitely be other events.
Inshallah. Thank you indeed for talking with us. And I'm so pleased. Congratulations that you actually managed two very different objectives, in under the banner of this one event. And that is, of course, to raise much needed funds for the Palestinian people, to create solidarity with the Palestinian people, and to bring together the Somalian Muslims with the local Mayfair Muslims in the area. So I think that is marvelous and well done. Thank you indeed for talking with us. May you grow from strength to strength, inshallah.
Inshallah. I mean, Jazakallah for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. Assalamu alaikum to you.
Wa alaikum salam.
Okay, we're going to play out with a video clip. And this is by Dr. Ramzi Baroud, a Palestinian journalist, author and editor of the Palestine Chronicle. And this video is asking the all-important question, the real reason why the US is keen on Israel defeating Hamas in Gaza.
States so keen on Israel to win against Gaza? Now, there are two different theories. One is the traditional mainstream theory, which is since Israel is fighting a war on a terrorist group called Hamas, the United States is keen to support Israel because it's part of America's war on terror. That's BS. The US has proved repeatedly in recent years that they are willing to accommodate, if not even work with terrorist groups. We have seen this in Syria, we have seen it in Yemen, and we are seeing it elsewhere in the Middle East. So what is the other reason? The other reason is more likely, but it's still missing something important. It says that Israel has one major benefactor internationally, and that is Washington. The US has given Israel about $3.8 billion a year and provides Israel with hundreds of millions of dollars of military research, including the money invested in the Iron Dome, in addition to so much money in other types of grants and that are never refunded and loan guarantees and that sort of thing. So the US is just being consistent with what America has always been in its relationship with Israel over the course of many years. But that still kind of does not really answer the question. I mean, the US sent aircraft carriers to Gaza. I mean, do you know how small Gaza is? That's about 181 square miles. It's a very, very tiny little place. And the greatest party fighting power in Gaza is one small group called Hamas. So it really can't be. You don't need this kind of firepower to defeat Hamas. It has to be something else. And here's the answer. US foreign policy in the Middle East is predicated on three components. Number one, Israel's military edge, per the words of Bill Clinton many years ago. That military edge gives Israel so much power, but also gives the United States much clout. And that clout is being used to subdue the Arabs. Component number two, the Arabs themselves, they have to always be holding to American power, American prestige, which is expressed through the power of Israel. That dominates the region. Number three, the geopolitical situation in the Middle East, which is essentially keep the Russians and the Chinese and others, but mostly Russians and Chinese, out of the Middle East. Now, this part in particular, this last component, Russia and China in the Middle East, it's being challenged quite often in the Middle East lately. One, Russia is the most dominant actor, political actor in Syria, and China is number one trade partner with Iraq. I mean, imagine, they went to war against Iraq to dominate Iraq and the rest of the Middle East, but what they actually did, they destabilized the region to the point that Russia and China became a lot stronger within that region. Gaza alone is able to change all of this because on October 7th and the days after that, they proved that Israel is not that mighty army that everybody thought it was. And number two, the Arabs are not intimidated anymore. This is why Moshe Feiglin, one of top Israeli politicians from the Likud party, put it this way. He said, the Muslims are not scared of us anymore because they know that so much of this is psychological, collective psychology. As long as Israel is powerful, we are scared of Israel. We're going to do everything in our power in order for us to avoid any confrontation with the United States. And number three, the geopolitics. We have witnessed that the Chinese political statements regarding Gaza is pretty strong, and the Russians are clashing openly with Israel at the United Nations. All of this indicates that all of these three components are very well connected, and Gaza, this tiny little place, was enough to be the spark that could bring American dominance in the Middle East to an end. And this is why the United States is the one urging Israel, do not accept permanent ceasefire until you destroy Hamas. Because by destroying Hamas, Washington feels that it still has the opportunity to redraw the map once more and to push the reset button. Will they succeed in doing so? Please do share your opinions and your views with me. Thank you very much. This was Ramzi Baroud with Unscripted.